Thank you to our sponsors: Butler Machinery, North Dakota Corn Council, North Dakota Soybean Council, Bremer Bank, Peterson Farm Seed, Crary Ag, and Farmers Mutual of Nebraska.
Our Agweek corn and soybean tour continues this week with a stop in the Red River Valley. I met with Sam Markell, North Dakota State University plant pathologist, to look at the soybean crop in the region and talk about diseases to look out for. Sam, tell me about the soybean crop we're seeing this year in the Red River Valley.
We've been out scouting in the last couple of weeks, and it's kind of all over the board. In areas where there was enough rain, it looks really good. There's some dry spots, and I'm a pathologist, so a lot of what we were scouting for is disease. And we're finding some interesting things.
Speaking of diseases, what are you seeing this year in the crops?
Yeah, there's actually quite a few stem diseases. So things like charcoal rot, brown stem rot, some of the things that have been popping up recently, but increasing, it appears, this year. And then, of course, the one that I'm probably most worried about is soybean cyst nematode. We had a really warm June in general, and that nematode really likes that. And so it got started early. So we're seeing spots that maybe you have a stunted place, maybe it's turning yellow a little bit too early, maybe it looks like IDC, but it's showing up later in the season. Often that's soybean cyst nematode. And so if there's one disease I would encourage growers to take a look for, it's SCN. And you do that with soil sampling.
When producers are out scouting their fields, what are some of the things that you advise they look out for?
Yeah, so right now I would say the two biggest things are take a look at the stems, the low stems. And if you see a lot of blackening or you see areas with red cankers or something like that, try to figure out what that is, because that is a disease. And most of the time we've got genetic resistance for it. All you need to do really is figure it out now, and then you have all the tools you need to make a good selection for variety next year. The next thing I would do is really towards the end, towards harvest, really consider soil sampling for soybean cyst nematode. That one, you can take like a 30% yield hit and you won't see above ground symptoms. So it really is soil sampling. And in the Red River Valley, especially the Southern Valley, we've got quite a lot of SCN around. So with SCN sampling, the North Dakota Soybean Council supports a free sampling program. So all a grower needs to do is get in the field by harvest, take some soil out of the field, put it in a bag that the North Dakota Soybean Council provides through the county extension offices, send it to the lab, you get your data back, and they pay for everything. So my hat's off to the North Dakota Soybean Council for supporting things like that.
Well, that sounds like a great program. Thank you for joining us today, Sam.
Thank you for helping give the word out.
Sam Markell. For those interested in soil sampling, please visit ndsoybean.org. For the first time, the University of Minnesota Soybean Research Center put its research on display. It held a field day for growers and others in the industry at its fields near the U of M St. Paul campus.
We're really self-promoting, I guess you'd say, the University of Minnesota and the researchers here at the U about what we do on soybeans.
University of Minnesota soybean agronomist Seth Naves says the main goal of field days like this is to spread the word on their research work. Pathologists, entomologists, and agronomists from the U of M make up a team that takes on soybean disease and pests, as well as work to improve things like protein and oil content. Nave says the Soybean Research Center is becoming more and more important for its work in renewable fuels, especially renewable diesel.
So there's a real interest in expanding processing capacity in the U.S., which means more oil will be produced. And that means there's also more interest in increasing the oil concentration in soybeans. So both from a breeding standpoint and from a production standpoint, that's really important.
Ron Obermoller is a corn and soybean farmer in southwest Minnesota and a board member for the Minnesota Soybean Research and Promotion Council. He has plenty of concerns beyond oil and protein content, and he's happy to see the research his checkoff dollars are funding.
My part of the world, it's cyst nematodes, iron chlorosis, white mold. I mean, and of course, then you get into the weed control, or I should say lack of weed control.
Nave says there's one more very important thing they're developing at the U of M.
A lot of the industry gets its real value from us providing them with high quality graduates that can then do well in these companies.
About 100 soybean growers and others in the industry attended the event. Thanks for watching AgweekTV on YouTube. Make sure to like and subscribe. We put out new videos every Saturday.